Maybe I will. I love singing. And I've been told that I can sing. You know what? Normally I'm like, "Ugh, I can't sing. I just love it." Do you know what? I can sing. I'm a very good singer. And I think it's time for me and for everybody else to own compliments and to own things that people say to us. And instead of just brushing them off, instead of just moving them away, instead of just pushing them back, I think it's time that we start embracing them. So, yes, I'm a bloody good singer and I love singing. And when I get the chance to, oh my goodness, whether it's in the car, whether it's on stage, whether it's with a band, doesn't matter where it is, when it is, I absolutely love singing. It is food for the soul and it just lights me up in such an incredible way. Um, but actually thinking about it, how how many times have you been paid a compliment and you've just brushed it away? Somebody says, "Oh, you look really nice." "Oh, this old thing. Yeah, I bought it here and I paid this for it." Women are awful for doing that. Or, "Oh, you're so good at cooking." "Oh, it's just something I just, no. Let's start owning the awesomeness that we have and saying, one, saying thank you for that compliment to be shared, and two, actually absorb it in. So many people over the years have said to me, "You're so good at singing. Like, I love your singing. I love your voice. I love your presence. I love how you show up when you sing." And I've always gone, "Oh, I just love it. Like, I don't care that I can or I can't. I just love it." What a load of BS that is. That is me not absorbing in a compliment that's being paid. And also, it's me not absorbing in that and recognizing that I can sing. I love it. I can do it. That's it. Like, we need to stop not taking those things in. We need to start absorbing, thanking, and owning compliments. So, I wonder what compliments you were given today, or you might be given tomorrow, and actually you go, "Hold on, yes, thank you. I am a good singer. I am a good cook. Yes, I did put a lot of work into that." Or, "Yeah, do you know what? I'm bloody good at that." Just play with it, see what happens, because you'll probably get a really good reaction from the other person, and you'll absorb it and feel good about it. So, like, just do it, right? What's the worst that can happen? So, here we are again, the 7 p.m. table. And now that I've removed the friction, so if you watched yesterday's live, we were talking a bit about friction. So now that I've moved the friction of having to come up with what are we going to talk about ahead of time and making sure I've got the thumbnail already and all that kind of stuff, now I'm like, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to flow with whatever I want to talk about. Because remember, this is for me first and foremost. And yes, doesn't that sound selfish? Conditioning of the world and conditioning of people, we're led to believe that doing things for ourselves is selfish. It's not. Start with you, and everybody else that matters will win by default. That's really key, right? Look after you, love you, do the things that you love, do the things that you need, fill up your cup, and everybody else that matters will win by default. Those that don't matter will disappear at some point anyway. That's it, so it's a bit of a disqualification, which is a powerful thing. So I'm still getting over this cold. So as we always do, 7 p.m. table, I want you to bring yourself into the room. I want you to bring yourself into the moment. I want you to make sure that you connect your head into your body. Yes, I know your neck connects your head to your body, but come on, go with it. You know what I'm talking about. Connect your head into your body and just be. Let those shoulders settle, wiggle your toes, ground yourself in, and just be here. And welcome to the 7 p.m. table. What are you bringing to the table tonight? What drink have you got? I've got a bit of a cheeky one tonight. I've got a wine. And I've been really good. I've not had anything. I've not had any wine actually for some time, but I'm at my friend's, so you'll see that there's a different background. I've got my laptop, so I can be wherever I want to be. I can rock up for my 7 p.m.s anywhere, which is so cool. It's so flexible. And tonight I've got a wine, a white wine. So what are you bringing to the table? Um, Thank you so much. I have a message that's come through. You're on fire, girl. Thank you so much. That makes me feel good. So, as I was talking about, reducing the friction and just coming live and talking about whatever I want to talk about. And as your comments come in, as you leave, remember you can leave an anonymous share on the 7 p.m. table. I will put the 7 p.m. table in the comments again so that you can, if you want to, you can leave a comment on there. Now, I've done it so that you can leave an anonymous, you do not need to put your name in, you do not need to put your email in. And there's a couple of boxes. One of them says, so basically, under the table, not everything is said out loud. This is your space. Share anonymously if you want to. No names, no judgment, no trace. Nobody will ever know it was you. How many times have you found yourself really needing to speak, really needing to share, really needing just to get something out and not having someone to say it to, not knowing how to say it, being kind of concerned as to what somebody might say off the back of you saying it? You know, having somewhere that you can just speak and share, I think is so powerful. And the questions are, and this might be something for you to think on now. So the first one is, what are you negotiating? The thing that keeps circling back, what is that? What are you negotiating? And then the second question is, what are you not saying? The words that are sitting in your chest. And you can leave those there anonymously, and then I will then, whether you put your name, if you put your name, great. If you want to be put anonymous, great. If you want to put your favorite superhero, that's also great. um I will then share it. I'll talk about it. I'll give an angle to it. I'll give a frame to it. I'll give an insight to it. I'll give some feedback on it. But nobody will ever know it was you unless you want to leave your name. I think that's powerful, and I know that I've needed that. And you know, the more and more and more, the more and more I think on these things, we should always create from what we need, because it's passion, it's purpose. If you need it, go create it. If you want a solution for something, maybe look at inventing it or creating the solution. Um, I spoke to I spoke to a business recently. They're setting up an estate agents. Now, we all know, right? There's estate agents everywhere. There are so many estate agents, but there's more and more estate agents that are independent. And when they're independent, obviously they can then run it as they see fit, which is the bonus of being independent. There's other negatives that comes to it, but you know, it depends on what you want from the outcome. But I asked them, what's your USP? With all the estate agents that are out there, what is your unique selling point? And after a bit of a brainstorm, you know, after thinking about how the buyer or the seller looks at an estate agent, looking at the model that we've already got, looking at the way things have been in the past, you know, what's the one thing that really irritates people when they're buying and selling houses? I'm sure you can all guess what I'm about to say. It's an absolute pain in the backside. It's long, it doesn't seem connected, it doesn't seem that everyone communicates. Like there's emails here and there's messages here and there's letters that come, like it's an absolute mess. Um, and and they were like, oh, I said, well, what if you could create something that puts the buyer or the seller in control and makes it really simple for them to see what stage they're at and what they were like, bang, there it goes. There we go. There we go. Now that, as I always say, that is me using my voice, my knowledge, my experience, my background, caring about what they're doing, and using my insight, my intuition to, to kind of pull that all together and then deliver it. Whether they do something with it or not, listen, it's up to them. It's up to them completely. And my brain works very much like oh, what's the film? The chess game film. What's it called? The oh, I can't think what it's called. It's on Netflix, and it's about a girl that is absolutely incredible at chess. I can't think of what it's called. If you know what it's called, stick it in the comments. Um, but anyway, this film was or series. This series was the first time that I actually could understand and piece together how my brain really works. Because what she does, she sits down at the chess board, all the pieces on the chessboard. And what is so cool, honestly, the first time I saw it, I just lit up, like everything in me just lit up. Um, she visualizes the whole board in the air. She visualizes all the pieces. She visualizes all the moves that can happen. And she runs through all the solutions and all the ways she can play the game up, like as a visual. That's what happens with my brain. It's so funny. And now that I observe myself more, I see myself more and more and more when I'm sat with a client, or I'm sat with in a business coaching, if I'm sat with a one-to-one in coaching, if I'm sat in a brainstorming session, whatever it is, if I've gone in and done some consultancy with businesses, um, I often look out, like I look up, I look away. Some of you have been taught that subject to where you look is a sign of something, a sign of lying, or a sign of making things up, not being in the room, all that kind of stuff. It's absolute BS. When you really look into the neurological connection between where you look with your eyes and where that connects in your brain, it is so powerful, and it's a really good tool um, in coaching. It's a powerful tool in coaching. You can really work out if someone's connecting to a memory, or they're having to visualize something, or they're feeling something. So, or they're hearing something. It's so cool with eyes. Anyway, when I visualize, I often go up high to my left, and I will visualize what's going on. So I will visualize if a client's going through something, I'll kind of step into their map of the world. If a business is going through something and we need to look at the processes and the solutions, I kind of look to the problem, I look to the challenge, I reverse engineer it, and then I angle it, almost like the Minority Report. So I then look at different angles, different people in the game of the the pawns, I call them, like the pawns in the game. And my brain can do that super fast. So if you gave me a problem, you gave me a challenge, I'd sit with it, I'd have a think, I'd look, I'd lean into my intuition, I'd come into my head, and I would immediately go up, and I would start to formulate this visualization. Um, and lo and behold, then I'll kind of go, have you thought of this? What about this? Did you think about that chink in the process? Queen of Chess. Is it? I don't think it's Queen of Chess. Queen's Gambit. There we go. It's called Queen's Gambit. Thank you very much for the prompt. I've just had a comment come in there. So thank you very much for the prompt. And yeah, so that film, that program really showed me how my mind really works with a visualization of putting together, ideas and thoughts and planning and solutions, um, which is what I'm really good at, which is why I'm really good at coaching. I'm really good with my business mentoring. And you know what I'm really good at? We started with, oh, you're really good at singing, Jay. Oh, no, I just love it. No, 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 I'm bloody good at singing. Do you know what I'm really good at? Like one of the most amazing genius things that I'm really good at. I'm going to own it right here, right now. Remember, this is my table. You're all at it, and we're all together. um, I'm really good at seeing things that people can't see, saying the things as well as seeing them, and then holding space to work it through. Because sometimes the thing that somebody's not seeing or saying is quite challenging. They don't want to see it, they don't want to say it. And it's likely friends, family, your partner, people that are close to you, either they won't say it because fear of you having a go at them or not believing them, but often they won't say it because they're too close to you and it's not the right connection or the right angle for them to share. Um, the stuff I've worked through with people, whether it be in personal, in relationships, in business, when I've said the thing that most people won't say, and I've held space for working it through. Oh, it's amazing. It's been amazing. I had a situation in Thailand, actually. I was in Thailand, went out to see my daughter. We had 3 weeks out there. Beautiful. It was amazing. And I got speaking to the manager of the hotel. I think it was a chain of like 3 hotels he was the manager of. And we just had some conversations. He's one of these that he just talks to everyone. And so he should. He's building rapport. He's the manager. Like he's the person that everybody smiles when he comes in, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, after a few chats, and he started to work out what I do, and we started to have some kind of mini coaching situations. And he said to me, this is so funny. He said, right, will you follow me around? I was like, what do you mean? He said, I want to know what people really think that they're not saying because I'm their boss. He said, so I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'm going to take you on one of my days, like what I do all the way through my day, where I visit, where I see, who I see, all that kind of stuff. He said, and I want your feedback. I want to hear what you see that none of them will tell me, or that maybe none of them can see because they're so close. It was so cool. It was absolutely amazing. And I don't mind calling it. I don't mind saying it. And I appreciate that sometimes I bring up the mirror to people and they don't really want to see it. So I need to be careful. And I always ask, and I always make sure that we're in a good conversation, we're in a good situation to be discussing these things, or we are in a coaching situation, whether it be a business coaching situation or a personal coaching, whatever. We're in that container. So yeah, interesting. So yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm very good at that. So what are you really good at? What are you really good? Oh God, this cold. What are you really good at that you're just not owning yourself? You're just not owning. You're not kind of absorbing, and you're not praising yourself for. Like if you don't, who will? And it starts with you. It's the key thing. It's got to start with you. Now I sat down. It's really funny. I sat down. And I thought, oh, what am I going to talk about? I mean, clearly I just free flow, because things come up and I think about things and stories come up and, connection. But what was lovely, I'm at my friend's house and I'm sat at her dressing table, and this book was on her dressing table. Now, this book, hopefully you can see it. I don't know if it's backwards for you, but this book is an absolutely gorgeous, beautiful book. And I believe everybody should read it. It's called Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. And it's by Elizabeth Gilbert. And she is the author behind Eat, Pray, Love. Now, if you haven't seen Eat, Pray, Love, I would recommend you watch Eat, Pray, Love. Male, female, old, young, in a relationship, not in a, whatever, like any human, every human should watch that film. It is so wonderful for humans, for life, for insight. It's a really easy watch as well. Julia Roberts. I mean, who doesn't love watching Julia Roberts? And I'm going to just read you a little bit, like one page. It's not going to take long, but it's so powerful. And this book is basically the art of ideas, ideas floating around and landing, and ideas coming to you for a reason, and then you choosing to do something with it or not. And the belief that ideas are floating all around the world with all of us. And if you don't do something with it, it will float onto somebody else and they'll do something with it. And there's a cool little bit of proof in here as well, around this belief of big magic and ideas. So I'm just going to read a little bit because it's just so beautiful. And I hope that it gives you some insight. Creative living defined. So this, I believe, is the central question upon which all creative living hinges. Do you have the courage to bring forth the treasures that are hidden within you? Look, I don't know what's hidden within you. I have no way of knowing such a thing. You yourself may barely know, although I suspect you've caught glimpses. I don't know your capacities, your aspirations, your longings, your secret talents. But surely something wonderful is sheltered inside of you. I say this with all confidence because I happen to believe we are all walking repositories of buried treasure. I believe this is one of the oldest and most generous tricks the universe plays on us human beings, both for its own amusement and for ours. The universe buries strange jewels deep within us all and then stands back to see if we can find them. The hunt to uncover those jewels, that's creative living. The courage to go on that hunt in the first place, that's what separates a mundane existence from a more enchanted one. The often surprising results of that hunt, that's what I call big magic. Isn't that beautiful? That was just one page out of this wonderful book. I think that's just so beautiful. I absolutely love that the universe buries strange jewels deep within us all and then stands back to see if we can find them. I mean, the art of finding them, the whisper that they even are there. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that so, so beautiful? I absolutely think that is just incredible. And then it goes on. I'm not going to read any more, but then it goes on, and the next chapter, an amplified existence. Oh, I mean, the words, just that. Imagine living an amplified existence. You know, people all often ask me why I've got so much energy, why I've got such a zest for life, why I push boundaries, why I very rarely give in. And if I do give in, it's because it's needed. And the reality is, at 17, I had a baby. I didn't even know I was pregnant till I was 5 months. And for me, she was coming. She was meant to be here and she was coming. And yet, as soon as she was born, now bear in mind, consider what you were like at 17. I was still a child. I was still a very, very young girl. I was the eldest of five at that time, but, and, and to be fair, I had a mature head on my shoulders. I was very independent, but at the age of 17, I had my daughter, and I was told to name her because she might not make the night. Like that grows you up very quickly. That changes things very quickly. And that changed things, that changed my direction hugely. And she's well, she's more than well, she's incredible. She is an absolute wonder. In fact, I did a piece in Chat magazine um, just around Christmas as a letter to thank her because she is just so precious. And I'm so grateful for her because of what the trajectory she turned in my life and where we ended up and where we went, the journey we went on because of that, and the trials and tribulations that we went through. You know, when you face something like that at a very young age, you're still very malleable. You're still very young in your mind and your thoughts and your being. And to have something like that happen, that was tough, but it's shaped me. Life is so precious. It is so ridiculously precious. And I guess I squeeze life a little bit more than most because I faced it quite early. Something very precious to me might not have been here if our journey had gone in a different way. So when people say, oh my God, Jay, you've got so much energy and you push and you challenge and all that kind of stuff, and you're always on the go and I can't keep up with you. The reality is you're not supposed to, because you're on your path. I'm not on your path. You're not on my path. There is no comparison. There is no judgment. You do you, I do me. If you like what I do, watch, cheer, support, laugh, do things and follow me and be inspired by me. And if it's too much, don't follow me. Don't watch me. Don't be around me. It's okay. I'll still love you from afar. Go find your people. Um, but yeah, that's why there's so much energy in this being, this beautiful being that I'm extremely grateful for being. So yeah, and I'm sure more of my stories will come out as we go on the 7 p.m. table. So I'm going to wrap up. I hope you've enjoyed what we've spoken about. I hope it's given you some insight. I hope it's been something that you can check in with, at 7 p.m. if you're here with me, or you watch it later in the day. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to, pop me a message or come onto the 7 p.m. table. And even if you just want to leave a thought or a thank you or a inspiration or a little share, remember, it's anonymous. There's no need, there's nowhere for you to even put an email address in. And if you want to put your name in, great. If you don't, just pop in a made up name or pop in anon and you can share with me that way. So we've had some good views. I think we're up to 25 views on one of the videos now, and we're only on like night 5, I think it is. Um, but whatever happens, this is really helping me, and right now that's what I need. Um, and yeah, so thank you very much for joining me at the table. I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at the table. If you watch it outside of the 7 p.m.s, pop me a message, pop me an emoji in the comments, or whatever. Um, and remember, everybody's welcome at the table. Everybody. There's always a seat. And the key thing is, quite often in life, you're not invited to the table, or there's no space at the table, or you feel like you can't go to the table. This table you can always come to. There is always a seat because you're bringing your seat, whatever that seat looks like. There is always room for you. And as big as we grow, the table will grow and there will always be room for you to bring your seat. That is important to me, and that will always be, it will always stay. So thank you so much for tonight. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for enjoying, because of course you have. And I will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Enjoy your evening and remember how awesome you are.